With the 2024 South African general elections coming up, I thought I will take this opportunity to profile some of the most prominent political figures in the country. The first name that came to mind was the name Julius Malema. Whether we like it or not, Julius Malema is definitely a force to be reckoned with within the political space in the country. Politics affects all of us in one way or the other. If the ANC could not see the greatness of Malema with his ability to command a crowd and attract masses of people to an organization, that says a lot about the leadership of the ANC. Obviously, Malema was becoming increasingly rowdy and difficult to control, but the ANC at the time should have been able to foresee the severity of chucking Malema out of the party, especially after suffering a big blow, with many supporters of the ANC leaving the ANC in their numbers to vote for the newly formed Congress of the People, affectionately known as COPE. After his expulsion, Malema became the greatest liability to the ANC. In fact, he might be the reason why the ANC may lose its majority in parliament and fall below 50% for the first time in the national elections since the dawn of democracy in 1994. Malema is definitely a force to be reckoned with within the political space and the broader South African society. He commands so much influence on many South Africans, especially on the youth. He managed to get 1,169,259 South Africans to vote for the EFF in 2014. That number grew to 1,882,480 in the 2019 general elections. It is against this background that I decided to look at the person of Julius Malema and the possibility of him becoming the future leader of this country. So the big question is Julius Malema ready to be the next president of this beloved country of ours, South Africa? This question forces me to delve deeper into his life and his rise to political stardom from humble beginnings as a young man growing up in Seshego, Limpopo. Malema has risen through the ranks from his time as the president of the Congress of South African Students, COSAS, after his election in 2001. This after having served as provincial chairperson of COSAS in Limpopo, a position he took over in 1997. Julius Malema went on to become the ANC Youth League president after his controversial election in April of 2008. In 2011, he was re-elected unopposed. Malema has to be the most popular president of the ANC Youth League, and he attracted a lot of controversy during his tenure. His reign as the ANC Youth League president was filled with controversy. In March of 2010, Malema sang parts of the controversial Dublipun at a rally that was held at the University of Johannesburg. The South African Human Rights Commission had denounced the song as hate speech in 2007. The South Gauteng High Court ruled the song as unconstitutional and unlawful on the 26th of March 2010. In April of the same year, the Equality Court granted an interdict preventing Malema from singing the song Dublipunu. Malema, however, defied this order and the order issued by the ANC to refrain from singing the song after the death of Eugene Terry-Blanche on the 3rd of April 2010. In 2022, after being sued by AfriForum, the Constitutional Court found that Malema's singing of the song did not constitute hate speech. The court accepted Malema's argument that the song should not be interpreted literally, but in its proper historical context as a statement of resistance to dispossession. Malema was a staunch supporter of President Jacob Zuma, and he campaigned energetically for his election as president of the ANC and ultimately the president of South Africa. Malema came out guns blazing against people who were opposed to the election of President Zuma as the next president of the ANC. Who will forget that famous speech he made in support of Zuma and against those seen as trying to block the inevitable Zuma presidency?
To take up arms and kill for Zuma. Shoot to kill, kill our. Shoot to kill our. Kiss the poor, the farmer. Kiss the poor, the farmer. Pa, pa, pa.
However, in 2010, President Zuma and Malema had a fallout. His continued defiance of the ANC order to refrain from singing the song Dublipun coupled with his public call for a regime change in Botswana, which was against party and government policy, exacerbated by his public rebuke of President Zuma, will lead to his expulsion from the ANC. We all remember the incident in which Malema chased out a white journalist by the name of Jonah Fisher from an ANC Youth League press conference after pointing out that Malema also lived in the affluent suburbs of Sandton, as Malema made a mockery of the MDC, the Zimbabwean opposition party, for having their offices in the affluent suburbs of Sandton.
We had our internal underground forces fighting for freedom. You live in and we have never spoken from exile. You see, let me tell you, before you are Chacharach, let me tell you, this is a building of a revolutionary party. And you know nothing about the revolution. So here you behave or else you jump. Here you don't laugh. Joke. Chief, can you get security to remove this thing? If you're not going to behave, you're going to call security to take you out. This is not a newsroom, this is a revolutionary house. And you don't come here with that tendency. Don't come here with that white tendency. Not yet. You can do it somewhere else. Not yet. If you've got a tendency of undermining blacks even where you work, you are in the wrong place. Yeah, you are in the wrong place. That's rubbish. Rubbish is what you have covered in that trouser. That is rubbish. That which you have covered in this trouser is rubbish. Okay? You are a small boy. You can't do anything.
I didn't come here to be
Come out. Go out. Bastard. Go out. You bloody agent.
After his expulsion from the ANC, Malema went on to form his own political party, the EFF, short for Economic Freedom Fighters, on the 26th of July 2013. The EFF managed to get 6.4% of the national vote, with Malema still bitter towards the ANC. He made the life of President Zuma a living hell in parliament. The EFF turned parliament upside down, engaging in behavior that had never been seen before. Who will forget the scenes where they had to be expelled from parliament for their rowdy and unruly behavior during President Jacob Zuma's State of the Nation address on the 12th of February 2015.
To go, I hope these gentlemen will...
You can kill me, it's fine, kill me. Just kill me, there's no problem, kill me.
We see honorable members using their heads to harm others.
Many controversial Malema moments will subsequently follow this moment. Who will forget an incident where Malema fired a gun in public at an EFF's 5th birthday celebrations in 2018 held at Sisa Dukashe Stadium in Mdantsane? Malema was later charged with unlawful possession of a firearm, unlawful possession of ammunition, and 3 counts of contravening the Firearms Control Act. Talk about irresponsible behavior by a leader of the 3rd largest political formation in the country. More recently, Malema defiantly sang the song Tubilipun at the EFF's 10th birthday celebrations held at FNB Stadium. Malema's defense to his continued defiant singing of the song is that the Constitutional Court ruled in 2022 that the song Kill the Poor, Kill the Farmer does not constitute hate speech. For me, it is quite shocking that a leader who commands so much power will advocate for a song that seeks to sow racial divisions and tensions in the country, justifying such behavior by focusing on the legal technicalities of the song rather than upholding your moral obligation as a national leader to preach unity and tolerance. The following clips make me wonder as to whether Malema really believes in these controversial statements he makes, or is it a case of being an opportunist?
To take up arms and kill for Zuma.
Are told don't disturb them. Even when they disturbed our peace, they found peaceful Africans here. They killed them. They slaughtered them like animals. We are not calling for the slaughtering of white people, at least for now. What we are calling for is
kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. Brr, pa, pa.
Andile Mqutama described Malema as an opportunist who raised issues such as nationalization and land reform not to solve them but to trick the poor who have been waiting for a better life for many years instead of leading the new struggle as a selfless leader of the poor. He said Malema only pays lip service to the plight of our people while he amasses great amounts of wealth through political influence. In 2013, Malema faced charges of tax evasion to the amount of 60 million rands after it was revealed that he was linked to companies that obtained lucrative contracts from the Limpopo government. The case was based on payments made to the Ratanang Family Trust. In 2016, the Revenue Service claimed that Malema breached the terms of the agreement and owed size 18 million rands in arrears for his taxes. Malema is also not ashamed to associate with an alleged cigarette smuggler, Adriano Mazzotti. He openly admitted that Adriano Mazzotti paid for the EFF registration with the IEC in 2014. That is how the EFF was able to contest their first elections. Speaking at the gala dinner the EFF hosted ahead of their 10-year celebrations, Malema said, quote, "When the IEC asked us to pay the money, Floyd Shibambo and I had nothing. We looked at each other and said, what is going to happen? They asked for 650,000 rands and we had no means." Later, Mazzotti called and said, "Brother, the money is paid and we knew we are good to go." That is how the EFF was allowed to contest the first elections in 2014. Close quote. Julius Malema is a life away from the spotlight he enjoys as a politician, which is different from the life he lived growing up in Sishego in Limpopo. He was raised by a single parent, his mother, Flora Mahlodi Malema. After his mother passed away, his grandmother took over the role of raising Julius. He got married to his current wife, Mantwa Matlala, in 2014. They are blessed with 2 boys, born 2016 and 2018. Malema is an older son from a previous relationship. After years of public rebuke and mockery for his poor matric results, Malema decided to invest in his education. In 2010, he completed a 2-year diploma in youth development from the University of South Africa. He further completed a Bachelor of Arts in Communications and African Languages in March of 2016. He also has an honors degree in philosophy he received in 2017. With all the information we have at our disposal, the big question is Mr. Julius Malema ready to be the next president of the Republic of South Africa? Does the EFF stand a realistic chance of winning the next election or making significant gains such that the president or the deputy president may come from the EFF? You decide.